The ruler can do almost everything that I want having to do with tabs. However, there are some things in which we need to look at the tab dialog box. There are several ways to go ahead and get this tab dialog box so we can see it. We can press Alt-O-T, or we can double-click a tab stop in the ruler. Since some of those are kind of hard to remember, we also can go directly from any of our paragraph groups. So let's go back to Home. In the paragraph group, let's click the dialog box launcher. And what we're talking about here is at the very bottom on the left, there is a button that says Tabs. We'll give that one a click. And this is the dialog box I was talking about. What we can see is that it will list any tabs that are currently set for the selected text. In this case, our text is still selected in the background. We can see we have one at 3, one at 4.25, and one at 5.25 inches. If we click or select any one of these, we then can see what kind of tab stop it is. For example, we can see at 4.25 inches, we have a center aligned tab. We also can see that we have default tab stops at 0.5 inches. So anything that is not designated is going to fall at 0.5 inches. After 5.25, they'll fall every half an inch. What we're mostly interested with here, especially when it comes to setting our own custom tabs, is that we can set something called a leader. And a leader is actually just a set of characters that separates two different pieces of text between tab stops, making it a little bit easier to read and stay on the same line. They're all down here at the bottom, and we can choose to have none, and any variety of dots and dashes and other kinds of little underscores. Let's go ahead and choose number 2 for the first one, and then we'll click Set. Then we'll click on 5.25, and we'll go ahead and do number 4 just to show you that there are a couple of different ways that we can do this. So now both of those have leaders, and we'll be able to see that as soon as we say OK to the dialog. We're not going to actually do this now, but do notice that if you select a tab stop, you can choose to clear that one, or you could also click the button to clear all of the tab stops at one time. This might be a little bit faster than having to drag multiple ones off of the ruler. Just kind of depends. Sometimes it's kind of 6 of one, half a dozen of the other as to which one is faster, but you do have a choice. Let's go ahead and click OK. And now we can see where those tab leaders come in. Let's also go ahead and turn off those non-printing characters to kind of clean this up a little bit, and just click to deselect our text. So we went ahead and set the leaders, and we can see that here are the little dots, which are very common, as well as the underline. Personally, I'm not a big fan of the underline because I think it looks confusing, but sometimes it is okay, and sometimes it's a very elegant and sophisticated kind of look. I think the little dots are the ones that we see most commonly, and that is actually option number 2, the first one being none. Hopefully you can also see how this will let us kind of keep our eyes on the same line if we have to follow tabs that move a long way across the page. Normally I wouldn't also recommend using mixed types here, but we just wanted to show you how they worked, and hopefully now you can see exactly how tabs do work, either through the ruler or by using the tabs dialog. When we talk about housing, architects, designers, and buyers often talk about the flow in a home. We want to be able to easily navigate from the kitchen to the dining room, from the dining room to the family room, for example, but we don't necessarily want to be able to see directly from the family room into a bathroom. In documents, we need to control flow as well. Word naturally flows text as we type, from line to line and page to page, left to right, and top to bottom. We can use automated features to force the flow to work a little bit more to our liking. We can do page breaks. We can also say that we want paragraphs to stay together or to stay with the next paragraph. We can also use tools like hyphenation and tabs to put a little of our own finesse into it. Understanding how all of these features work and how to manipulate them, from pagination to controlling text flow, may not be critical to create a document, but they are critical if you want to take your document from run-of-the-mill to remarkable. And I think that's what